Well, it doesn't just come from the draft when you want to build a champion, guys. Again, it's Alex Barth with Mike Petraglia and Mike Alonji on a CLNS Patriots Roundtable. Free agency this next couple months is going to be important as well. So let's go to the time-tested, perhaps the oldest segment tool in sports talk radio. That is buy or sell. I got a list right here at some of the names Patriots might be looking at in the coming weeks about bringing in. I'll throw the name out and you tell me buy or sell. We'll start with three names that are in-house, but still players that they need to make a decision on. Dion Lewis, Mike Petraglia, buy or sell?
I got to sell. I think he's going to cost too much, and the Patriots have really never, ever put huge amounts of free agent dollars into a guy like Dion Lewis. Even though he's coming off a career year for the Patriots, there's no question about that. I think the Patriots are willing to will let him go and get his money elsewhere.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I think I got to have to sell it just because, he's going to cost a lot of money. There are other running backs on the roster who can, do kind of the same things that he does. James White, obviously number one among them. I think there are too many factors going against re-signing him that you just can't bring him back at that price.
Danny Amendola, talking to college students at Bryant University the other day, said he wants to be back in New England, but he understands football is a business. Guys, is the Patriots pay cuts on Danny Amendola finally going to run out this year? Michael Alonji, we'll start with you.
Well, that little quote that you just put out there makes you a little nervous, definitely, because as you know, the reports have been saying he's projected to get between $3 and $5 million. That sounds like he's looking for more closer to the $5 million range for that salary. So, the Patriots is going to have to make a tough decision. I think he's back. I buy it just because I think he's a very, very important part of this offense. You saw it specifically when Julian Edelman went down this year. I think if they can push it to 4, maybe even 4.5, which is probably the furthest they'll go, I think Amendola's back next year.
So I think, guys, that if the Patriots offer 2 years, $10 million, he's back with the New England Patriots. Anything less than that, I think he probably gets a much better offer somewhere else, and he's probably out the door. And, also one other thing to consider in all of this is whether or not Gronkowski is back. And if Gronk is not back, the Patriots really need, and Tom Brady really needs, Danny Amendola back on the field, because you really don't know what you're getting with Julian Edelman coming off the ACL, though it probably will be still pretty good. But they need Danny Amendola back, and I think they would be willing to pay 2 years, $10 million.
Yeah, I'm buying. He wants 3 to 5. I'm not sure he gets 3 to 5 million per year elsewhere, just with his injury history. I think the Patriots can still put, if not the best offer, close to the best. I don't think any team that's going to pay him $5 million has any shot at making the postseason. And a guy used to so much success, I don't think he, takes an extra $1 million a year to go play in a team that's going to be 6-10, 5-11 this year. One last Patriot in-house decision they have to make is left tackle Nate Solder. Let's throw a third option on this one instead of buy or sell. He's back in New England, he's elsewhere, or he's retired when the season starts. Trags, start with you.
All right, I'll start with this. I think Nate Solder is back. It makes too much sense for him and his family. Obviously, people know the story of him and his son Hudson undergoing cancer treatment here in Boston. I think that the Patriots really appreciate what Solder has been through, how much of a leader he has been in that locker room. He is adored, guys. He is absolutely respected almost as much as Tom Brady inside that locker room for what he's been through on the field, off the field. And I think the Patriots give him a comparable salary, and they make it worth his while to stay in New England. They're not going to certainly overpay for Nate Solder, but I think it makes too much sense to both sides for him not to return. So I think he's back in New England.
Mike.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's either back or he retires. I don't think he ends up on another team or anything like that. But I do think he comes back. I think the Patriots, maybe it's only a 1-year deal. Who knows? It's going to be an expensive 1-year deal, but that's probably what it's going to be because, if you think about the options that the Patriots have, who else are they going to go after at left tackle? They're going to go draft a guy and then, they have to develop him and things like that. I think that's going to be really tough to do, especially when you're in the twilight of Tom Brady's career. I think you, like Trag said, I think you make it worth his while. Obviously, he's got stake. He's got to be here for the cancer treatments for his son and things like that. I think I buy Nate Solder being back next year.
It's wild to think about. Tom Brady's whole career, he's really only had 2 left tackles, right? Matt Light and Nate Solder. Obviously, there's been backups here and there, but That's good reliability on the backside there for Tom Brady. All right, some guys outside of the organization now, not exactly cream of a crop free agent class this offseason, especially areas where the Patriots need. But one guy that sticks out to me, former Chicago Bears cornerback Kyle Fuller, is on the younger side. I believe he's 26, 27 years old. He's coming off a borderline all-pro year. Guys, how do you feel about Kyle Fuller to the Patriots? Buy or sell? Will they spend big money on a corner for the second year in a row?
I think it's a decent possibility. I mean, I think that there's certainly the need for the cornerback position. Definitely. I mean, Kyle Fuller had a little bit of a rough start to his career, but has certainly, as you mentioned, come on of late and had a fantastic year last year. Yeah, I think that they could. I don't know if they're going to spend the money that they might take to actually get Kyle Fuller because as you said, a young 26-year-old cornerback who is coming off his best season of his career. That's going to cost some money, certainly. So I think that it'll be tough to stomach paying two corners. What it would be, certainly over $100 million in total. I think that'd be tough for Patriots fans to grasp. But I think that if you're talking purely football, I think that it'll be a great signing if they could get him.
Well, we obviously have to wait on whether or not the Bears use the franchise tag on Kyle Fuller. It'd be about $14.2 million, and that's a pretty hefty price tag if you project it over a multi-year deal. If he indeed goes to free agency and the Patriots make a bid for him, I think it's more likely. And let's not forget about the role of Jonathan Jones in all of this. He went down. Patriots really liked what they saw from him out of the corner position, out of the slot position when he got the experience last year. Then he went down with the injury, and we saw in the Super Bowl what kind of impact that had. I don't think Kyle Fuller is going to wind up here in New England. I think too many dominoes have to fall in the right direction for that to happen. The other name that, and you might be getting to this, Mike, Alex, is Richard Sherman. And
yeah, let's put a pin in that real quick because we got one more free agent, then we'll jump to that. Big market tease from Trags there. And I want to say, you mentioned Jonathan Jones. For whatever it's worth, Cyrus Jones will be back too next year, for whatever it's worth. One more free agent before we get to the bigger names. Preston Brown says he wants to be on the Patriots. I'm not sure how much the Patriots want him. He was the leading tackler last year in the NFL, but bit of a liability in coverage. Buy or sell, guys, yes or no, Preston Brown to the Patriots?
I buy. Preston Brown, if it's a fit, and the Patriots have proven they love the way Buffalo Bills players have played against them. Preston Brown is somebody that really impressed in run stopping, and he is the kind of guy that I think would be a perfect complement alongside Dante Hightower and Kyle Van Noy. I think I buy Preston Brown, obviously at the right price.
Mike, I'm going to sell it only because I think it would be better to get a guy who's maybe a little more well-rounded. Now that would probably cost a little more money, but look, I like Preston Brown. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a really good tackler. Obviously, led the Bills in tackles and all that. I really, linebacker is a very important position in this Patriots defense, and the Patriots, obviously, as we saw last year, when injuries hit them, they were hit really hard at the linebacker position. I would love to see a more all-around linebacker in that spot. Maybe they go through the draft, maybe they sign a different free agent, but I'm going to sell Preston Brown just for that reason, although I do like him as a player.
Yeah, Mike, you jumped me on that one. I don't think so. I'm selling just because I think the Patriots go draft here. I think Belichick's still upset about missing out on Zach Cunningham last year, linebacker who eventually went to the Texans. I think one of those first three picks, remember, they got a first and 2 seconds. I think one of those goes to an inside linebacker. It's a good year for that. And remember, when they had Gerard Mayo, they drafted Dante Hightower because they needed an insurance because Gerard Mayo always got hurt. Worked out pretty well for them with Dante Hightower. Now I think the roles are reversed. They're going to try to draft the linebacker to make sure they have somebody not only alongside, but in case of losing Dante Hightower. And I think they'll get a pretty good player. Belichick's had some success drafting at that position over the years. All right, now let's get to the...
Let me throw in one quick name, guys.
Yep.
Rashaan Evans, Alabama. I think that
is... please. Oh, my God, yes.
That is... Now, that's somebody at number 31 I see the Patriots taking if he falls there.
Trags, you got my Crimson Tide blood boiling with that. I love it. Rashaan Evans, Ronnie Harrison. Those that I know Marlon, not Marlon Humphrey, whatever his name. The corner's out of the question, but Ronnie Harrison,
Minkah Kirkpatrick.
Thank you. I'm all over the place right now, but yes, those two guys on the defense. God, I would love to see them in New England.